Probably a little personal, like to myself. I studied abroad when I was younger, but have tried to pick up a foreign language. I've always wished that I was bilingual. And so when this opportunity came around, it seemed like a no-brainer to ensure bilingualism in my daughter. I think just embracing that bilingualism and how much it's needed right now throughout the world.
Number one, Spanish being such a huge part in anywhere, in the U.S. now, that it's, I've looked at jobs in the past, and bilingual is a huge perk, being able to find a job, and just being able to communicate with a whole nother, with another culture.
Especially in DeKalb, it's very good to, for him, and I was very, very, very pleased that they were starting this program, because especially in DeKalb, like a lot of people in DeKalb are Spanish speaking. I grew up in DeKalb. I've lived here almost my entire life, and the majority, 95% of my friends speak Spanish,
Yeah.
as their first language, and then English as their second language, so.
To me, it's when she was in pre-K and Mrs. Davis was like, your daughter's in here trying to speak Spanish. It's like the other kids, she'll hear the other parents speaking to the kids, and she's really interested. And I'm like, really? And she was like, yeah. So it kind of flew over my head. One day we was in a car and she just bust out like, Mom, I want to learn Spanish. And I'm like, for real? She was like, yeah. I'm like, you know what? I'm asking your teacher, how can I put you in a class like that? And I asked, she was like, they actually have a program. And that's when she gave me your email.
Oh gosh, there's been a lot. I think some of the things so far have been, while she's gotten frustrated at times, seeing her work through and kind of build that relationship between languages. So as she's exploring both languages, she's coming up with, oh, this is like the same in English, or this is the same in Spanish. So I think just her exploration, just the way that she's processing all of that has been intriguing and interesting for us so far at home. And it's amazing to watch just what the learning that's taking place.
I do enjoy watching how quickly she's catching on to the language itself. She regularly says that she needs to go to the baño, so she doesn't even call it a bathroom anymore. So just kind of watching her excel in it as not being her first language has been really impressive. So I'd say that's probably what I've found the most exciting.
I took them to the zoo a few months back, and they were singing Spanish songs, like the days of the week. So our daughter knows the days of the week with the hand clap, days of the week. And so Ethan had learned it in Spanish. And so he was running around the zoo, like just singing it in Spanish, just like off the blue. And I just really think he gets it in the back of his mind, and it'll come out when he's talking to us.
During class, she came over to me, she goes, well, how part of this day is in Spanish, and I don't really understand that. I said, yeah. And I said, well, that's why you need to go back, and you really need to be paying attention to all the clues that they're giving you. So there are times when she's been frustrated, but I think starting at such a young age, the frustration doesn't last that long, or we'll step away from something for a minute and come back to it. I do notice as a parent that she's mixing her vowels up in both languages, but I've done a lot of research on that and know that that's pretty common too. So that's sometimes frustrating for her, during the writing part, and the oracy, producing the language has been challenging too, but not to the point of wanting to quit.
that because it's not her first language, she struggles to pay attention as much. And so for her, being distracted at times, her distraction causes a huge, gap in what they're talking about because she's not able to catch it by not looking. That's probably the biggest struggle, is that she has a harder time focusing because it's not registering quite the same.
I think if once you're committed, the advice would be to just like let it run its course. So trust in the program, trust in where it's going to take you, and not get so committed to the day-to-day. They're not supposed to be fluent right away, and that it will come and it builds upon each other. And I think so just having that patience during that time, and patience with them. I found too that being at home with her has been even another element to this, right? But it's gotten me even closer to the program because I'm hearing more about what's going on. And I think that knowing that their minds have to switch, I have to give more wait time. So just when I think that I'm giving, when I'm ready to prompt her or support her more, give her some support in English when we're working on the Spanish side, I have to wait a little bit longer because I can see her thinking, and it takes a little bit longer for her to process that because she's processing the language.
And when they talked about the classes being in full Spanish, I was immediately nervous because I don't speak Spanish, and so I was very nervous about how I could support her and not speak it. But the impressive part has been that there has been enough, there's enough repetition and verbal cues, and that I've actually been able to follow along myself. So that's been really impressive. Just being that was what was going to make me nervous, was that I didn't realize when it was a dual language that it was going to fully be, which I don't know why I didn't think that, but that it's fully in Spanish. And so when that first came about, I was like, how am I going to help her when I don't quite know the language? But it's actually not been.
It's a great program, and their kids will love it. Like, learning a different language is awesome. Like, I think it'd be kind of hard on my part because I was trying to say some of them words, and I'm like, just forget it. But on her part, about her being so interested and really, really wanted to learn it, it's like, keep pushing, keep going, because it's really good. It's really good to me. I love it. Her generation, she's gonna be around a lot of more people that speak Spanish. Like, she gonna need to know.
I'm thankful that the program is finally being launched after all, the years of work. And I think that the more people become aware of the program, the more even more success that we will have. I'm in awe at what's happening. Like I said, I've been able to, this teaching in a glass window this year has been amazing to see the things that are happening.